All right. So anyways, I appreciate all the comments that you guys have been putting on the videos. It's amazing. I looked yesterday and I had like 20 views and 6 comments, which is a great ratio. And thank you for all the people that are saying like, why are you doing the bullseye? Isn't there a better thing to be doing and all this sort of thing? Thank you so much for watching and thinking about it and responding. I'm grateful and impressed that you're watching my videos. And you know what? Yeah, there's different things for the bullseye, but I mean, there's many ways to make money on the short vol trade. But the point with the bullseye is that I'm trying to illustrate a very simple way that's formulaic that people who maybe are just getting into this stuff can't really mess up. And so what it is you just sell that at the money call every Monday. You just sell one at the money call in UVXY. Or I'm sorry, you start out by selling an at the money call in UVXY. Then on that Friday of expiration, if it's out of the money, if it's way out of the money, you let it expire worthless. And you come in the next Monday and you sell another at the money call. If it's close to at the money, then you roll it out to the next week, the same exact call. And that's really the gist of the whole thing. Anyways, AIMT. I ended up trading out of those spreads for a profit. I booked a small profit on the whole thing this morning by basically legging out of the spreads, sort of leaned short. The thing dipped down, and at one point there was a bid for the leg that I needed to get out of. What I did was I initially bought in the short puts in the front month, and then I hung out, and things went lower, and I was able to sell out the remaining part of those spreads for a profit. So that worked out great. I didn't really want to wait for the big event and have either a big gain or a big loss. I'd rather just book a small profit and move on because I wasn't too sure about the whole thing. Now I've been kind of looking at an RH. This is, by the way, City Skylines, this game. But let's take a look. I did go to check out RH, which has earnings coming out, and we've played this one before, but let's take a look at it again here. All right, so welcome back. We got the screen up. RH, let's take a look. All right, so here's a chart in RH for the last little while. They've got earnings coming out, obviously, this week, and we've played this one before for earnings. Looks like it keeps bouncing off of this little range here, but here's the scene. I'm going to switch my chart to just showing 12 strikes just to kind of make it easier to move around here. All right, so I was looking at like this. We could look at the money strike, but we could also look at the 60 line. If this is to gap up, we could buy the calendar. And actually, you know what I was looking for is actually to move out a little bit here. So what if we were to go to October and we buy the October 60 call, and we, instead of selling the one that expires this week, we sell the second week out, right? So it gives us a little more time. So we could pay $235 for the SEP OX 60 call. And I just see this will be a huge winner if earnings are good and this gaps up. So if we model this SEP 20 OX 18 160 call calendar, we can go to our Analyze tab, or we can right click and left click on Analyze Trade and pull this up, make sure that's the only thing. All right, so if we were to buy the spread 10 times, it would be about $2,300. Makes us long 30 deltas, and it's showing collecting 236 a day. If we pull up the risk profile here, this is going to show us the similar risk profile, of course, to being short a straddle, and it's showing break even at between 140 and 190, and it's showing us making $7,000. Now this is what would happen if this thing did not move on, or I'm sorry, moved exactly to 160 after earnings, and the October volatility did not collapse at all, which is very unlikely of happening because October is going to collapse somewhat no matter what. But let's say it collapses and it goes to 160 and we only make, half of this amount. That would still be $4,500, which would be a nice little trade. But this kind of trade would require that we do have an opinion on things and think that earnings could be okay and that this is going to move higher on earnings. If we wanted to look at something a little bit more delta neutral, stock's 153. What if we looked at the 150 call spread? And this is, once again, this is an illiquid stock, okay, folks? So if we looked at 150, the 150 line, we're actually 153.85, so maybe the 155 is more appropriate. I've played this one before for earnings, and so, it's showing us collecting 248 a day, and this is not the front week we're selling. We're selling the next week out. If we were to just look at the very front week, which is, it would show us, collecting 700 in theta. So basically this week is going to collapse. However, we do have to get out of the spread, or if these calls are in the money at the time, they're going to turn into stock. We're going to get assigned on these calls, and we do have that risk going on. So that is one of the reasons why I might advocate moving out a week on this stuff, maybe just the 20 line. But I think this is an interesting trade. I'm not necessarily going to put it on here. Tell me what you think of this spread here. Once again, RH. Let's research RH together here for a second. So we could go to StockTwits and pull up RH. Which I don't have on my watch list right now. If you do well, the good thing about trading RH is if you do well, you could go out and buy some RH furniture with your winnings, which is some really quality stuff. Puts engaged. This thing could drop hard. Epic squeeze. Some people say it's epic squeeze. Some people say it's going straight down. So, of course, a difference of opinion is what makes a market. All right, so Tuesday. So earnings are tomorrow after the bell. So this is coming down to the wire here, folks. And the one good thing about it being tomorrow after the bell is if you are to trade this front week stuff, you will have a few days to get out of it. Maybe we just put this on like a one lot just to see what happens. So earnings after the bell tomorrow. What if we were to just buy one of these OX 60, SEP 60 spreads? How much would that cost? $235 for a one lot. What if we were to do the SEP 1320? So the at the money. What if we were to buy the 155 call here and sell the 155 call here? That would cost us $100. And this is a pretty illiquid one, folks, so I would anticipate not getting filled mid-market. You're going to probably have to pay to play here a little bit, pay to get in, pay to get out. And let's take a look at the volume open interest here. So we've got, well, I mean, it's traded, it's trading today, certainly at the money, calls 846 with an open interest of 200. So a lot of opening positions here right ahead of earnings today. People are going to play this one. It's a popular one. Let's take a look quickly. And once again, let's refresh your memory on how to look through this stuff. If maybe you're new to this, let me get out of the way. So if we want to look on Thinkorswim, we're in the Analyze tab right now, and we're into Risk Profile. It's showing our risk graph chart. If you want to go up here to Add Simulated Trades, click on that. Then we can cruise down. I'm using the mouse wheel to cruise down here, and we can look at options, time, and sales. So that's very crucial to our understanding of what's going on here. So I'm going to go to time and sales, and then if I go to the right here and click, there's a little button here. Let me see if I can make this bigger so you can see it better. So there's a little button right here. I'm going to make it super big so you can see it. It's right there. Can you see? Okay, so let me go on here. It's right there. I think there's a button here. Let me see if I can capture cursor. All right, I think this will let me. You see my cursor now. Okay, there we go. You can see my cursor. So right there, click on that button right there, and boom, we've got. I'm going to move this around again. Click on that right there, and boom, we've got this list of filters for our time and sales. So if we unclick everything, it's going to show us everything. And then we can pull up time and sales as I move this back small enough so we can see everything here. We can see time and sales. So someone's selling the 120 puts. And, you know, when you look at time and sales, we're not just assuming that whoever did this stuff knows what's going on, or that a put buyer or a put seller means anything really specifically. But we do have someone selling the 120 puts for 55 cents. They're probably just taking advantage of the rich premium to try to make some money here. SEP 180 calls. We've got a buyer paying 150, so somebody definitely believes. I would say that that's a speculative trade, that we're definitely going higher on this news. Buyers of the SEP 157 calls we're seeing here, and we go down through the list. So it looks, and people selling one. So it's a little two-way paperish here. Sellers of the 157s, buyers of the 157s, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so then we can go back to trade, and that's going to pull back our options screen. Under the trade tab, we've got the ones I mostly use are all products and active trader. Active trader is going to pull up the chart and the trade window here. If I move this over, these buttons on the right, we've got time and sales. If we click that, it's going to turn time and sales off. I like to look and see what's trading as far as time and sales on the underlying as I look at the underlying here. So I don't trade a whole lot of underlyings as a position trader, but I want to see what's going on kind of here. This is going to tell you kind of what the momentum is. And even though I don't trade a lot of the underlyings, I'll sit here and watch the momentum of the stock move for hours at a time. I used to spend, you know, my whole day, every day as a market maker, just staring at the momentum of the stock, because it gives me, it helps me when I am actually executing a hedge or options trades. I can internalize, after a while, like I can get into the flow of the momentum of the stock, and that really what helps me determine when I'm going to enter and exit things, is what the momentum is going on. If you watch this stuff long enough, you start to get a feel for it a little bit. But, you know, what stands out to me here on this chart is like, look, it just keeps getting up here around this 160 level and then boom, back down again. This is over the period of, it looks like 3 years. So that's a big period. If we go down to 1 year, totally different chart, right? You look at the 1 year chart, you're like, oh, this is definitely going to the moon. You look at the 3 year chart and you're like, it's probably going lower. So it really depends, once again, on what chart you look at, what you kind of see. So if you add, oh, it's definitely this looks like a top here, and it's definitely going lower. If you add that to this thing's definitely going higher, what do you get? You get uncertainty. So there is uncertainty always, but in this case, it seems like there's a lot of uncertainty because you've got several different. Now, can this break through and move to the upside? It certainly could. The market conditions are such that the market's been moving higher, so this certainly could break on through to the upside here on earnings, which come out tomorrow after the bell. So you have till after the bell tomorrow to figure out what you want to do. But the trade I was proposing was to either buy the October SEP calendar, the October 20 SEP calendar, or the SEP 1320 calendar, either an at the money call or maybe this 160 call. I want you guys to give me some feedback on what you think of this trade, and we'll think about it. And then we'll come back tomorrow and kind of depending on what I kind of figure out and what you guys think, we might put this trade on a little bit together. So there you have RH. All right, so let's cruise back for a second and look at the VIX world. And our bullseye position is doing well, seeing as UVXY is down 67 cents today. So what do? We rolled into this. It was at the money when we did the roll on Friday, which was selling the, and why is this not popping up? Selling the UVXY SEP 28.5 call. I think at the time we were selling it for like 130 something. And now the market's 54 bid at 55, so we're hanging out, and that's working well for us right now on our bullseye position. Looking beautiful is the VIX. VIX up a couple ticks, but doesn't really matter because the term structure is normalized and fully intact here. So it's going to take more than up 12 cents to get out of this term structure shape here. We're looking at 8% contango. We've got over a point between spot and the closest future. We've got another point between that future and the next one, and just a beautiful contango shape for our term structure today. All right, so that's kind of where we stand. I'm kind of happy to take off my position at AIMT for a profit today, just because I don't know. I don't really want to risk this whole account on. And there wasn't a whole lot of risk in our positions anyway. We were just long these calendar spreads. But I had sold some additional puts. So, if the thing had tanked a lot, we would have lost money. So I'm happy to book a profit and get out of that one. If you want to look at my trades on that one, I'm going to post them right here real quick, and you can pause it and look at the trades that I did on AIMT today to kind of get out of the position. You can see it's a lot of small trades. And that's kind of where we stand right now. All right, so thank you for watching today. Thank you for continued support. Thank you for those of you who did support me on Patreon as new supporters or adding to your support. I had somebody who doubled their support, which is very kind of you. So thank you very much. To those of you whoever downvoted me, thank you for watching. Love you. And any publicity is good publicity. My grandfather, who was a politician, taught me that. So you want to come on there and rip my head off and tell me I don't know what I'm doing and I'm an idiot, please feel free to do so. And for the rest of you guys, I am thinking about coming on Twitter so that we can interact directly with each other, because I really miss that, and that's coming up soon. I already have a Twitter account. I just need to broadcast, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll broadcast on Twitter, and then I will save that and show the Twitter broadcast on YouTube after. That way people can come on and watch me live, and if you can't make it, you can just see the replay on YouTube. All right, thanks for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day trading, and I'll see you next time.